Thank you everyone that sent me your pictures. I have them all here on my phone. Some of them are absolutely fantastic, really good. Noob, you drew 3 pictures. Winter, yours is very nice, very pretty. Lucy, lovely. I love the size of your fish. You've got a really, really big fish there. Billy, really nice as well. Han, thank you for telling me that a cloud is the cloud. I really like that. Kimmy, really nice picture of the beach. I like the way your sun is like extra big and extra large. Pumpkin, good stuff. Trixie, well done as well. Thank you everyone for sending me in the homework. Looks really good. Good job. So the point of us, it helps you understand ecosystems a little bit better, okay? And what we're going to do is we will extend on that. So what I want you to think about is making a book, okay? We're going to make a book about ecosystems. What we're going to do is we will keep building on that, okay? So that's just one section. So that's just the front cover. That's just ecosystems in general, right? What we'll do is we'll make a book. We'll make a book. We'll start talking about all the other things. We'll make it as interesting as possible. You're going to draw a lot of pictures, basically. Loads and loads and loads of pictures. Pictures to explain everything. Right, okay. So what I want to do, first of all, is I want to have a quick chat about the drawings that you drew. And I want to ask about the ecosystems that you drew. So, Winter, please tell me what ecosystem did you draw?
I draw a pond.
You drew a pond. Okay. And what are some of the living things in a pond?
Fish, algae.
Okay, cool. And what are some non-living things in a pond?
The water.
Water, yeah, good stuff. Trixie, what about you? What did you draw?
I drew the tundra.
A tundra, awesome, good choice. And what about some living things in the tundra?
There are penguins, polar bears,
Yeah, cool. And what about non-living things in the tundra?
There are water and ice.
Okay, cool, good job. Hacker, well, what ecosystem did you draw?
I draw desert.
The desert, okay.
No,
What's
just the
no.
fishes and the camel.
Okay, yes, good, thank you. Thank you. Kimmy, what did you draw?
I draw a beach.
Beach, okay. What's some living things at the beach?
People.
People, yeah, people are living things at the beach. I agree with you. What's some non-living things at the beach?
Water.
Water, yeah, good stuff. Water, sand, things like this. Good job. Well done, everyone. Right, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at ecosystems. We're going to take it a little bit further, okay? What we're going to focus on today is how within an ecosystem, this section, the animals and flowers interact. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this bit in a lot more detail. And the way we're going to do that is by trying to break down an ecosystem into the 2 parts, which I just asked about, which was the living things and the non-living things. If we can understand what the living and non-living things are in an ecosystem, we can figure out how they actually work together. If I was to ask you about your local environment, things that are around you, what are some living and non-living things in your environment around you? Put your hands up, please. So, Thailand B, in your local environment, tell me a living thing.
Cat.
A cat. Very nice. Good job. Cat. Billy, tell me another living thing.
A fish.
A fish. Fish where?
In a tank.
A fish in a tank. Fantastic. Great stuff. Well done, Billy. Right. Now let's go the other side. Cherry, tell me a non-living thing in your environment.
A table.
A table. Right. Cool. Joey, tell me another non-living thing.
Computer.
Yes. Pat, tell me another non-living thing.
A noodle.
How do you do it? Thank you. Your noodles. Okay, fine. New things. I hope you enjoy eating non-living things. Kimmy, tell me another non-living thing.
An umbrella.
Anything. An umbrella. Okay, perfect. Good stuff. Right. So what I'm going to do is going to use some examples. We're going to talk about people. We're going to talk about cats. If you want, we'll talk about fish. Fine, fish. Okay, and we'll talk about non-living things in your environment: air, houses, tables, computers, fish tanks, water. Now, in that environment, let's take people as the example. Okay, what do people do with non-living things? Look at Pat being a non-living thing. He is interacting with his environment by eating. As I was saying, use people as an example. People interact with their environment by, one, if you're talking about living and non-living, Pat is eating the food. What else do people do with non-living things? Pat.
You touch, you use them.
Yeah, we used them, right? Very good.
Yes.
Pat, that's literally exactly what I'm trying to get at here, is that in an ecosystem, a living thing, like a human, will use non-living things like a coffee cup or a phone, and that is us interacting with our environment. Now, let's take the example of a cat, right? What does a cat do to interact with non-living things in its environment? Just as an example, a monkey, right? Now, some monkeys, they will use tools. They'll get like a rock or a stick, and that will help them open food or eat food, right? They're non-living things in their environment they use to help them survive. So let's think about, give me an animal. Let's go for a whale, okay? So what do all animals do? What do all mammals do? They need to breathe, right? So if you think about a whale is a really, really, really big animal. A whale uses the water to hold its weight. If a whale had to walk on land, it would just fall over, right? A whale needs to breathe. So a whale needs to be able to go up to the air and breathe in the air, right? These are all things that a whale will use. It will use the water and use the air. So this is how a whale interacts with two non-living things, interacting with water and interacting with air. Let's try the cat question again, okay? What things does a cat use in its environment? Pat.
It uses its bowl of food, its milk, and its litter box.
Yeah, cool. Bowl of food, milk, litter box. These are all things it needs to survive, places it needs to go. Good job. What about, let's use a lion. What does a lion use in its day? Trixie, where does a lion sleep?
It sleeps on the ground.
Yeah, sleeps on the ground, right? So a lion uses soil to sleep on the ground. It makes its habitat, makes where it lives, where it sleeps on the ground. So that's a living thing interacting with a non-living thing. It can be that small. It can be where it sleeps. You take a lion breathes. That's a lion interacting with air, right? You take a lion standing on a rock to see far away. You take a lion, Simba, Simba. That's living animals interacting with a big giant rock, which is a non-living thing. That interaction is how an ecosystem works. A living thing working with a non-living thing. It can be as simple as a plant. A plant will grow from soil. A plant is a living thing. Soil is a non-living thing. The plant needs the soil to get nutrients and also to grow up, right? So that is living, working with non-living, and that's how an ecosystem works. Let's think about a marine ecosystem here, okay? So that's a nice picture, nice fish, pretty fish. Yay, we like fish. But when you have interacting parts, so the bits of an ecosystem which work together, right? Like I just said, plant and soil. Look at the picture of the marine. Look at the picture of the fish. Now, who can tell me one interaction you can see there between a living thing and a non-living thing? Billy, go.
I see that the fish uses the water to swim.
Perfect. Fish use the water to swim. Good job. What else can we see? Let's add shark. This is Pat the shark. Oh, now we have Pat the shark. Yes, Pat.
The fish is using the water to swim away from its predator.
Yeah, cool. Uses the water. What else will the fish use to swim away from the shark or to get away from the shark? Joey,
They need to swim fast.
they need to swim fast. What else they can do? Imagine the shark swim faster.
Fish can hide from the shark and
Where?
camouflage.
Yeah, where are they going to hide?
They can hide under the reef, and the shark can get in because the shark is too big.
Yeah, exactly, right? So the fish are going to use all these rocks, right? They're going to hide in here. They're going to get underneath it. So that's a way that, once again, a living thing uses a non-living thing. Let's try this. What are these things called? These bits. Who knows what the name of that are? Begins with C, rhymes with borrel. Trixie, what's that called?
It's coral.
Yeah, coral. And what does coral use rocks for? Okay, coral, they live on rocks, right? They grow and they live on rocks. You can see every piece of coral, it's got a piece of rock underneath it or beside it, and that's where it's growing from. Once again, that's another example of coral, a living thing, using a non-living thing, a rock, in order to survive within its ecosystem. Now, if coral are plants, what else do plants need to survive that is a non-living thing? Trixie, what does a plant need to make sugar?
Sun.
Sun, yeah. So again, sun is another non-living thing that plants will use. It's still part of the ecosystem, right? It's still everywhere. Sun's everywhere. It's all part. We need it. Plants need it. We need it for energy. It's a fact. We get vitamins from the sun. We get vitamin D. It's all good for you. So again, there's another thing where you have a living thing, coral, interacting with sun. What else do you think the sun does? Think about the fish, right? What does the sun do for the fish, Baldy?
The sun gives energy to the fish.
Okay, how?
By passing the energy to the plants, and the fish eat the plants, so it gets the energy.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll take that answer. What is the sun doing to the water? Winter.
The sun makes the water evaporate.
It's going to make the water warmer, right? It's going to make the water hotter. Look at these fish. These are definitely what I would call tropical fish. Tropical fish live in places where the water is warm, not cold, warm. Okay, so the sun is making it warm. Again, living thing interacting with non-living thing. These are all the things in an ecosystem that cause interaction. Now, what they are. So we don't use the word living things and non-living things when it comes to ecosystems. We use something called biotic factor. Okay, so a biotic factor are the things that are alive in a living system, in an ecosystem. They interact with each other and the non-living things. So examples are things like bacteria and bees and trees, right? They all interact with one another in some way. So remember that word biotic factor, biotic, okay? Bio means alive. That's all you need to know, okay? If you see the word biotic factor, it's referring to things that are alive. The other side is the abiotic factor. It's not abiotic or abiotic, it's abiotic, okay? Abiotic factor. So this is the opposite. These are the non-living things that can affect an ecosystem. Examples are things like wind and sunlight, the soil, temperature, the weather, the amount of water. So they're all of the non-living things that can exist in an ecosystem. So let's try this again. So in your ecosystem, your local environment, what's an abiotic factor, Cherry?
Maybe soil, cause my family like have plants or something.
Yeah, cool. Good job. Well done. Pumpkin, what's one for you?
Rock.
Rocks. Okay. What rocks do you have in your life?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Think about your house, Pumpkin. Right. Your house. Pat, another abiotic factor and how it affects you.
The sun.
How does the sun affect you?
It affects my mornings that I can't wake up and my eyes are literally blind.
Okay. So it affects your eyes. Fair enough. Kimmy, can you give me another one?
A chair.
A chair. Okay. What do you use a chair for?
To sit.
To sit down. Yeah, I think that's the idea of chairs. But okay, so what I want you to really grasp and understand is that biotic means living things. Abiotic is non-living things. And that in an ecosystem, what we talk about is the interaction with all of these things together. So how all of these interact with this, and how all of these interact with this as well. So if you were to think about water for plants, plants need water to survive. Animals need water to survive. Mushrooms need water to survive. Protists, single-cell organisms, need water to survive. Bacteria also need water to survive. But on the other side, if there's no water, it affects this, right? Plants, animals, all these are affected. Soil for plants. If there's no soil, how's a plant going to grow? Just can't grow everything in cotton buds. Light. Well, too much heat is going to kill the bacteria. Not enough heat, mushrooms not going to grow. No sunlight, plants won't be able to make food. Animals will be cold. Rocks, some animals won't be able to sleep. Air, there's no air, we can't breathe. So all of these abiotic things have a huge impact on the biotic things. And an ecosystem is how the biotic things use the abiotic things. Does everyone understand the difference between biotic and abiotic, and how in an ecosystem they work together? That's all I need you to understand. We're going to talk more about it the next day anyway, but that's the main point of what we want to get at. I'm going to send you a quizzes for your homework. Okay, everyone, if there's no questions, bye-bye.